What do you want to have, man? You want to have my pen?
Yes.
Why do you want to have my pen?
Sorry, bro.
No worries. Okay, guys, welcome back to, what is it even? It's Wildcard Friday. I'm just blown away. Liquid Zenio is our Korean Zerg spawning on the right side of this map. And Gamma Bear Sen is our Taiwanese Zerg spawning on the left side of the map. They just played an absolutely fantastic game on Ohana. It's my best game of the season, man. Who could have ever thought that? Well, we had a lot of good games this season.
So many good games,
yeah,
and Zenio has been a part of a lot of them.
Yeah, but this was the best, really. I really think this was the best.
It was great, man. ZVZ, late game ZVZ in situations like that is very exciting. And
this game was so extremely back and forth. You know, one of my favorite moments of the game was when the Broodlords, like when Sam was moving out with the Broodlords and Zenio retreated, and then he realized that that army is so much quicker than the Broodlords that he wanted to intercept it. But then Sen also realized that he wanted to do that, so he pulled the Broodlords to the left and came back with the army. It's just insane high-level Starcraft.
Really high-level stuff, and the ultimate positioning of those broods was just perfect, parking them over the high ground, so they're really difficult to target without vision, without controlling the Zonaga tower. Just awesome game.
You know, like that's like we run a whole season, man. We run a whole league, and every now and then people might think like, oh, it's this another play day. You know what? I'll skip out on this play day. We'll tune in later. But at the end of the day, you have to get through those play days, and that's why those regular play days are important as well, because you have to lead up to moments like this when the playoffs are really starting. And this is even just the wild cards, which is basically a round before the playoffs. But now you can really see. I mean, we saw Red versus Sourcing in the regular season, which was one of the biggest disappointments of the year. And I mean, that's no offense, because I love both these guys and they know it. But they can play so much better than they did back then. Then we saw them today. They gave us an epic nail-biting 3-2 series with a lot of high-level movements. And now we see Sen versus Zenio, and game one is just... I've seen enough.
It was a great game, Kev. It was an absolutely great game, and you're right. It all leads up to this. This is the postseason. This is what you play for. 9 weeks of regular season play. Every game counts. Certainly, every game counts, but this is when it counts the most. Every single series means the difference between living and dying. And these guys, they're just pulling out all the stops. They're hanging in there, clawing forward. And this is it, man. It all comes down to this.
Yeah, not trying to turn this into a cheap commercial speech, man, but if this is how it starts, how awesome are the upcoming weeks going to be? And imagine that if we would have had a game like this on our finals in Toronto, like, I can only dream, man. It's going to be awesome. Let's focus on game 2 over here. I believe we saw Zenio once more going hatch first.
Yep, same openings on both sides, in fact. Sin went pool into hatch just to stay extra safe, realizing, of course, that Zenio is a guy that's not afraid to mix it up. So having that pool just gives him that added insurance. It's going to be probably more of the same, man. I'm really excited to see the mid-games develop. Last time we saw Zenio commit to a little bit of Zergling aggression that put him just ever so slightly behind. And
yeah, he picked off a queen, picked off
killed a couple of drones, but Sin came out of that with an economic lead. He got faster layer tech, got those mutas out, got some map control. Didn't end the game for anybody, but that was the advantage that allowed Sin to comfortably transition. So we'll see if Zenio tries it again.
Pretty quick bailing nest this time for Zenio. Now you bring up that game once more, so I want to talk more about it, even though I shouldn't, because it's too beautiful to talk about. But what I like most about Sen is that it doesn't feel that anything was going his way on a certain moment. The mutas didn't do the damage I felt they should have done. The first engagement didn't do the damage or didn't go as well as I thought it should have. And suddenly Sen was maxed out. Suddenly he had this massive army of 200 supply when Zenio was at 180. It's like, Sen, when, how, and why? I just don't get it.
Describing good StarCraft with words is like trying to describe color with words. You really just can't do it. You've got to see it. And that was a great game, man. I think the Bailing Nest on both sides are mostly defensive. We can see Spine Crawlers going down. Small swell of Zerglings from Zenio, but he's making drones behind it. So we can pretty much anticipate that he's not going to be too crazy with these lings. He's got a follow-up planned, and we'll see exactly what it is.
We will indeed, man. So far it's just defensive play on either side. Sen has a small drone lead, but Zenio is making quite a few drones. Zenio once more, a little bit quicker, man, with his Zerglings.
Yeah, awkward placement on this Spine Crawler. It's not going to cover the drone line, and that means that Sin's going to have to pull these drones back. He's going to lose a handful of drones once again. And
Bailing's a little bit too late, but
this time he still has that sort of mid-game drone lead because Zenio committed those units to Larva, but it's not as much a one. 34 drones to 35 here.
Zenio the one going to layer much quicker than his opponent in this game. The other game it was Sen going quicker.
Yep. Zenio was thinking, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was getting roaches out just to be safe. He skipped that step this time. And he's going straight to lair with 4 gas, so I think it's actually Zenio who's thinking mutas this time. There's no Evo Chambers, there's no Roach Warren. It's almost, it almost has to be mutas. If you're going to play Zergling Infestor, you do it with upgrades.
And he's droning up quite a bit now as well. Sen is making his way over to the other side of the map. Now Sen is getting his own layer as well, and an Evolution Chamber. Ooh, one Zergling is going to try to pick up a Baneling, but that's not going to work. Excellent control by Zenio. Oh well, excellent control. He's just not messing up. But
well, I mean, that is excellent control.
Some games that we've seen, it's excellent control. If I watch myself play, then it's superb control.
If I watch myself play, it's like, that's impossible control. He didn't screw up. Spire is, of course, going down for Zenio. Sin is getting the Roach Warren and +1. And the way these timings are lining up, I think he wants to try to go with a +1 Roach speed attack, which could be really brutal if that +1 lines up with those mutas popping out. We'll see. The other side of that is if it comes a little bit too late, the mutas are just going to own him, and it's going to be GG.
I'm just trying to figure, Well, Flay has 51 drones right now. I was trying to see if anything is a really big tell, but I think you're pretty much spot on, Ben. Roach Speed is going down. Oh, the Infestation Plate is going down as well. Did Sen get a vision on the main base of Zenio? No, he did not. Zenio trying to make something happen here with the Banelings.
Oh, wow. And that was a surprisingly efficient trade on both sides. And you know, Sin didn't see anything directly, but he did see indirectly lots of Zerglings. He's seen these spine crawlers at the front. That doesn't definitely mean mutas are coming, but maybe that's what he's feeling.
I don't think that Sen is really aware of it yet, man. I don't think he does. And he's going to try to get a scout off right now with the Overseer. He doesn't have a single Spore Crawler up yet. You shouldn't forget that.
That's true.
He's going to see drones being transferred right now.
That's a lot of mutas, and that's almost certainly going to prompt some kind of reaction, be it Spores. Yes, Spores starting up immediately. And will Sin get aggressive with his roaches? This is one of the best things you can do to buy yourself times, is just attack.
But he doesn't have the overwhelming amount of roaches. I feel that if you have 15 to 20 roaches, then it's often the right choice. If you have 7, then there's a chance that he just uses the mutas to defend. And then you're going to lose 7 roaches, which, well, they're not that expensive, but obviously you'd rather do something else with 7 roaches.
He is going to send the roaches, but not directly. He's going around, avoiding the path of these mutas, and he could actually end up doing some okay damage with it.
He's going to end up losing this hatch.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to cancel this hatch with Zerglings and mutas being here. But his Infestor is not too far behind. He's got him in production. He'll have Fungal very soon, and here come these roaches onto the third base.
Oh, Baneling!
Oh, beautiful detonation there, and the Banelings of Zenio representing no real threat to these roaches, being microed nicely, and Sin's going to get some drone kills, and Zenio actually...
Zenio's going to keep this base alive, man. So Sen is stuck on 2 bases right now. Yes, Zenio will do some economic damage. He will probably pick off both queens, so it's not all bad for Zen, but he's Sen. That's because of you, Ben. Calling him Zen. But he's going to end up losing all these roaches, and he lost his 3rd base.
But he bought time. He forced Zenio to pull back those lings, and that's actually really important. Now Infestors are going to be out.
I don't think this is all that good for Sen.
No, it's not good. He's down a base. He's in an awkward position, but he's not dead. Is the critical thing.
He's down 21 army supply as well. Obviously, if he can land a couple of great fungals when these mutas fly in, then he's going to be able to even things out a little bit. But right now, you're going to have to love the position of Zenio.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Zenio can transition smoothly and comfortably into whatever the heck he wants. Looks like it's going to be going over into roaches. He's already getting +2. And this is so great. He's been upgrading ranged attack the whole time, so he's actually going to be even with Sin in spite of the fact that he's only now starting his Roach Warren. Good job by Sin having these Banelings in position to deal with the Zerglings.
Wow, that's a great Baneling detonation, but will it be enough?
Forced to use Fungal. That's actually really really awkward.
He will keep the hatch alive. That's something. That was a lot of those were a lot of links.
There's also a lot of energy, though, which means the mutas can become a lot more viable once again. But Sin does have more Infestors in his main base. He's going to be okay.
I think that was great for Sen, actually.
Oh, saving the base, yeah, but that's so much energy wasted on Zerglings. I mean, ideally, that's not what you want to spend your Fungals on.
Yes and no. I don't think he's going to really need that energy in the near future. I actually think that turned out really great for Sen.
Regardless, he kept the base alive, and he is going to be able to move up to that solid, strong 3-base economy. Worker-wise, it's 71 drones for Zenio, 61 for Sin. Sin's working on getting some Hydras out, in fact, so he's trying to bolster that ground army as much as he possibly can. Zenio also throwing down his own Hydralisk Den. Notice how the mutas have just stopped really trying. Once you know the infestor's out, it's a big gamble to go over into a main base.
That's why I felt this was a good trade for Sen, because he knows. I mean, we might know if there are any infestors around, but Zenio doesn't know, and he can't possibly find out unless he's going to scout around with overseers. Otherwise, he just has to be so careful with his mutas that most likely Sen will have the time to just recover that energy again. Big Ling run by no cancel for Sen this time. So a good pick up this time for Zenio, much better than the previous one.
300 mineral mistake there, and Sin does clean up those units, but we'll have to build
350.
A new. Yeah, I guess you're right. Cost of the drone. Does have to build a new hatchery now. Zenio also taking his own 4th base, as well as starting his own Hydralisk production. So Zenio definitely ahead, but not super ahead, Kev. I mean, +2 finishing up at the same time for both these guys, but it's only about 15 supplies separating them.
It is close, no doubt, but I think if you are Zenio, Ben, you have to feel comfortable with how this game went. You have to feel that most things went your way. Okay, he lost a ton of Zerglings, 1 exchange, but he's still clearing up all these Overlords. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts spreading a little bit of creep soon. I think he wants to feel a little bit more secure on the ground, but I think he likes the way that this has been going.
Well, we can see that he is sending out
careful with those mutas.
A big blanket of Overlords as he does fly away with those mutas. Just on the mini-map, you see Overlords moving everywhere as Zenio has taken away Sin's map vision, and now he's establishing some of his own. Sin, though, is doing a really good job of just sitting back and sitting back and sitting back, and this is a really close game still, and it's basically reached the point where it comes down to the engagement, the positioning, and the fungals. Remember how far ahead it seemed that Sin was in that last game until Zenio took that one great fight where he landed all those awesome fungals.
15 more drones on the way for Sen. Don't you think that's a little bit too much, man?
Normally I would say yes, but
massive fungal here for Sen.
Good job here. He's going to clean up all of these mutas. It's a really good feeling. Allows him to sort of take the map control back. But look at this army of Zenio. Roach, Hydra, Infester. Against Roach, Hydra, Infester, both players are going to be maxed, and losing those mutas means that Zenio is able to reinforce with more Roaches and Infestors. Actually, Sin's got a much larger army supply thanks to picking off those mutas there. But he's in such an awkward position.
He has way fewer Roaches, which I don't understand. Like, Sen has a bigger army, but in what? I don't get it.
Hydras, I guess?
Yeah, suddenly 24.
Infestors?
Yeah, he suddenly has 24 Hydras now, that makes sense. A lot of Hydras were in production, that's why I was confused.
This base is going to go down uncontested. Sin is just going to send a handful of Roaches down to Zenio's expansion. There's a lot of spine crawlers there, though, and this is one of the really smart things that you can do in the late game, is just build spines everywhere. It makes harass like this a lot less effective.
Beautiful timing, though, by Sen, just hitting barely before most of the spine crawlers are done. They will still be able to do some damage, and they're buying time. Sen probably want to retreat with these Roaches right now.
Spine crawlers are actually going to be the heroes here, as Sin will lose every one of these Roaches, and the only thing he killed was spines. So very good job there by Zenio, getting back in time. He's going to immediately rebuild these spine crawlers. He's got plenty of money to do it with. Both guys going up to Hive now.
The infested count is super even. Upgrades are super even. There is a 10-second difference in upgrades, and that means that Sen is going to get to a little bit quicker. But other than that, it's completely even. Everything is just even. The infested count is very close as well. 10/9 in favor of Sen. It's an even game. Well, Zenio is a little bit richer. I do think that speaks in his favor. He has a bigger bank. He just threw down
for longer. Oh, awkward position for Sin. He's going to lose some units for free. Great fungal by Zenio. He's just going to capitalize on that small mistake. Sin thinking maybe he wants to force a fight. Fungal's going down, but look how clumped up Sin is. This is not what you want, man. He's going to lose a lot of units just for free. Most of them are going to be Infestors, and pretty good engagement for Zenio, although somehow Sin seems to have it a lot. He threw down, I guess, Infested Terrans are what saved him there.
And a lot of Hydras coming in from behind.
And Zenio actually forced to back off. I'm so surprised that fight went that well for Sin. Those fungals from Zenio were just excellent. But now Sin's bearing down on this third base, and Zenio's going to have to try to wait until reinforcements are out. Good Roaches popping out right into fungal.
This is always so tough, though, man, when you play ZVZ in this phase of the game, because your units are just going to stream in from every single direction.
Oh, look at this. Zenio's going to come in from behind, saying that there is going to be no retreat.
So exposed.
And they do drop a couple of fungals, but every unit is going to die here. Sin coming in with more reinforcements as well, though, making sure that Zenio's committed to this, and Zenio will have to back off. 170 supply to 180 supply. Another
Flanking the flank.
Yeah, another round of great decision-making on both sides. Infestor's coming in.
Your units.
And good fungal going down for Zenio. Needs a couple more like that. Sin is coming in with reinforcements. Zenio is coming in with reinforcements. It's a much longer reinforced distance for Sin, though. And I think that will ultimately mean Zenio is going to hold here.
Yep, Zenio will stabilize and Zenio will hold. Both players have hive tech right now, though. But the thing is, Zenio has double spire, or even triple spire. Right? Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Why not? Build a greater spire and get double upgrades. Of course.
Really? Do you think that? No.
No, it's not on purpose. It's very clearly a mistake.
I was about to say that. I mean, he's rich, but
he's not that rich. No. And a couple of roaches burrowed up here at the top half of the map, just trying to be annoying. Zenio maxed Sin, not maxed, and perhaps a byproduct of Zenio having that bigger bank. Sin also a little bit split up here. He's got a lot of his hydras kind of left alone down on the bottom half of the map. Big fight going down. Zenio does not have the money for fungals. He's going to have to throw down Infested Terrans instead. Hydralisk Roach against Pure Roach, but the numbers seem to be pretty overwhelming. Sin trying to come up from behind, and he is going to hold. Yes, he will hold once again. Some more just great job of responding and then counter pushing and then responding and counter pushing, and these guys just taking turns, just blow for blow, all series long, I guess. More of the great action that we saw in Game 1 continuing here on Odyssey.
Yep, super close game. Greatest Spire is on the way right now for Zenio, Ben. So he wants to get down those Brood Lords. Ooh, loses an Infestor before the fight really starts. Army Spire right now, it's up 22%, so this is actually quite scary. If I was Zenio, I'd be
really awkward time for Zenio to have to defend. He's supply blocked. It means he can't reinforce, and that is a critical mistake by Zenio. Sin's maxed out. Zenio has no choice but to build Overlords. He's got 10 Overlords building. There's no way, Kev. He can't possibly defend here. His natural has been completely breached. And Sin crushing through Zenio right now. There's Overseers there, so burrowing's not going to help. Zenio's losing all of his tech. He's losing a lot of his economy, and I think he's going to lose the game.
I think you're right, man. He's losing everything. Losing all of his units, losing the Infestors, losing this Greatest Spire as well, losing +3 literally 10 seconds before it would be done. He has to rebuild everything. He's even rebuilding his spawning pool already somewhere, just in case, I guess over here on the left side of the map. No, over here in the stud, which I think is weird because all of the spine crawlers are over here.
There's going to be no recovery from this. Sin can just walk up into the main. He's going to take out the Baneling Nest, the Hive, the third Spire, and the spawning pool. And Zenio, obviously, he's going to try to recover here, realizing his mistake.
It just seems so hard to finish Sen off. He just never dies.
He's like a zombie, man. A Taiwanese zombie bear.
I want to use another animal, but that might sound weird. Yeah, a couple of more units from Sen in the main base of Zenio. Zenio is going to try to make a final stand.
Fungal.
Beautiful fungal once more by Sen, and also beautiful concave over here with all of his hydras. Zenio will be able to pick up this roach, and Zenio, Ben, is really playing excellent Starcraft. I love everything what Zenio has done so far, but it just seems that Sen is a little bit better.
I have to agree with you there, Kev. Sin playing some beautiful, beautiful Starcraft.
How does Sen stay so good, Ben? He's playing in the Taiwanese Starcraft League. Nobody knows a single player from, besides Sen.
He's also like 42-2 in that league.
Yes. And he sleeps all the time. And
I think he just stays well rested, so...
And I don't have the feeling that he really watches a whole lot, because when he was here, actually, I think DreamHack was going on, and he was sleeping more than he was actually watching. How is this kid so good?
He's just a true talent, man. Zenio still has mustered another really large force. If Sin can hold here, I think that's going to lock up the game for him, but it's still a really scary army.
I do agree with you.
In fact, it's well, not a larger army, but a very comparable army. 100 supply to about 110 supply in the army tabs.
Infestor crown in favor of Sen. Not a single Infestor for Zenio, so the fungals might actually make the difference, and there is quite a bit of energy as well. Well, it looks like Zenio's army is actually bigger.
He's got a great concave. Those fungals didn't do the best work. Hydra's doing heavy damage, but Infested Terrans are so good. They soak up so much damage, they deal so much damage, and Sin will batter Zenio back here.
3-3 is on the way for Sen right now. Zenio doesn't really have the... Well, he has a little bit of money saved up, but he tried to get that before. It was shot down by Sen, and that definitely made quite a difference as well.
Yep, Zenio sort of cornered here. He's got 3 bases. Sin has got... I guess they're both mining on 3 bases.
And the biggest problem is he lost his hive, so it's going to take like forever.
No higher tech. Sin can do whatever the heck he wants, man. He can make Greater Spire. He can make Ultras.
Zenio probably hating life right now that he put so much into that Broodlord tech.
One hero roach over here. Look at this guy.
Where?
on the top right expansion. He's going to try to kill every single drone.
He's working OT. He's the beta dam of tonight.
But Sin doesn't care, man. He's going to keep pushing the issue. Great fungal by Zenio, and this is just outside of Spinecrawler range, so this will back Sin up once more. Zenio trying to keep these bases alive. That overtime roach is still getting kills in the top right in the midst of all of this. Zenio really trying to hang on to this game, does not want to give up, but just look at the numbers of Sin in a true swarm style.
That hatchery a little bit too long. He lost a lot of units there, but I guess it's okay. He's really shutting down the economy of Zenio right now. Zenio just down to yeah, pretty much one mining base, I'd say, and that's this one. So I guess losing a few roaches in the process is worth it, but Sin lost quite a lot there.
Yep, Sin gonna stay maxed out. Zenio at 150 supply.
Roach died.
Rebuilding that hatch. Yep, he did. He had a couple of buddies that came to join him as well.
Really? Helping out?
They also died.
That's what you get for helping out a friend. Moral of the story? Be selfish.
When your buddy asks you to roll with him, you say no.
Hey man, my dad gave me a little of work. Would be awesome if you can help me out now, sorry. I don't want to die. What? It's just some paperwork. No, I really don't want to die.
Paper cuts, man.
Perhaps a final engagement here by Sandman. Sand still having superior numbers, and 3-3 really kicking in right now. 3-3 against 2-2 in ZVZ is making a massive difference.
Yeah,
it might not be everything, Ben, but it seems to be enough.
It is making a huge difference. Zenio again forced to disengage. 130 supply to 190. Zenio, I mean, he is, if he's proven anything, it's that you can hang on with lower numbers. Like, it is possible with good positioning, with good spell casting. But GG comes out of Zenio. Sin will take game number 2, goes up 2-0 in the series. And can anybody stop this guy?
I'm so impressed with Sandman, really, and I'm not sure that who Sen is going to face in the playoffs. That's still undetermined. It also depends a little bit on the last game. Well, Sen didn't win this series yet, but right now it's starting to look like it. But if I was sitting there in the playoff berth, I'd be hoping, please don't give me Sen. Because he looks super, super strong.
Certainly not if you're a Zerg player.
And Zenio is playing really good Starcraft as well. I really think he's doing a lot of stuff right, but it's just Sen.
Sin's just doing a lot of stuff better.
Even in the start, I feel that Zenio often gets ahead. It just seems so hard to finish Sen off. And I can't really figure out where that happens, or why that happens, or why it is like that. But anyway, excellent ZVZs between these two guys. We're going to head over to a small commercial break. We'll be right back with game number 3. Maybe Zenio can turn it around, because all he has to do is find that one small thing where instead of Sen hanging on that cliff, you just have to get him off there.
Stomp on his fingers, man. He's like hanging on, using his bear claws.
Yeah.
That's probably the problem. He's been like falling, but he just digs the claws into the side of the cliff.
He has like these picks in his hand. He's like, he never, and then he falls down a little bit further, and then you think it's really over, but no, Sen still
like stomping on his face while he's hanging.
Gone. So you're like, okay, he's gone. I don't see any
next thing you know, he just like appears out of the earth behind you and pushes you off the cliff, and it's like, sup, bro?
Suddenly has blonde hair and a glow around him. Like, what? I thought you were dead. No, they used the dragon.
He says no, but it's got like the voice of like 1,000 Taiwanese people.
It's pretty sick. Maybe Zenio can make the sickest comeback that we've seen in a long time. Maybe not. In any case, I'm sure we're going to see another awesome ZVZ after this short commercial break.